Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Rookie CEO podcast. I'm Grace Watkins. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Click Management, and Rookie CEO is my in-the-moment podcast where I'm sharing the highs and the lows of trying to run a business as a mid-20-year-old. The office is a really busy place at the moment. There's a lot going on, and it's one of those times where you just feel like everything is happening at once, and I have more priorities than I can possibly get done in a day at the moment. This sort of situation would have used to massively stress me out. I'd be feeling super overwhelmed, like I have all of these problems I have to figure out and that I don't know how to figure them out and that it's unfair that I've got them in the first place. And I'd be feeling guilty that I was going to let people down if I wasn't going to be able to get back to them today because I had so much on. I'd resent the fact that I had these challenges, and I'd be in the mindset where I'm like, okay, I just have to get this one thing done, or I just have to get over this week, and then I'll be back to no problems. And I was basically trying to keep myself in a state of minimal problems at all times. A while ago, I read this thing and it completely changed my perspective on problems. It read that life is always going to confront you with problems. You can't escape yourself from struggling with those problems. Even if you're 100% successful in solving all your problems, the problems are never going to stop and more will come. There is every possibility that every time you solve a problem, it's just going to be replaced with a new, fresh problem. Therefore, life is necessarily an endless series of problems where the solution to one set of problems is merely going to be replaced by another one. And often the only difference between a problem being painful or being powerful is a sense that we chose it and we are responsible for it. And understanding this concept, I don't want to be dramatic, but I think it legitimately changed my life. Suddenly, I realized that actually all my problems are problems that I've chosen. I'm completely in control of everything I do every day and everything I want, and therefore any problems that I encounter along my day or along my journey are problems that are there because I've chosen the circumstances that I want to be in and that they're able to arise in. So if I'm stressed about something at work, really, that's a problem that I've chosen because I've chosen to do what I do. If I really didn't like it, or if I really hated the problems that I run into at work, I could quit. Like, they're problems that are there because I've chosen the circumstances that I'm in. If I'm feeling like I'm having money problems, or I'm not able to afford something that I want, or that my rent is too expensive or whatever, I really need to reflect that that is also my own problem. I've chosen to live in Sydney, which is an expensive place. It's not a secret. And if I really didn't want to deal with that, then I could move out of Sydney. So really, everything that I'm dealing with is a factor of my own choices. This sounds simplistic, but actually it's been a super empowering mindset to realize that actually everything I do, all my desires, everything I want, and therefore all of the problems that will come with those things that I want, and the problems are unavoidable, are therefore things that are within my control. Therefore, there's really no point getting that stressed about it or getting worked up about it or putting myself into a mindset where I'm like, this is unfair, I don't deserve this. Because if I really didn't want to deal with them, I could change my circumstances. It allows me to be in a mindset where I can respond in a way that feels more positive rather than out of fear or stress. Now, obviously, this isn't that simple, and this is something that I regularly get wrong and I'm still working on, but it's a concept that I try to bring myself back to regularly. And now I really try to actually get excited by the problems and see them as an opportunity to learn. Sometimes I actually try to visualize my brain expanding and having to make new connections and really having to work like a muscle. A lot of people talk about resilience, and the way I sometimes think about the word resilience is staying strong to a problem, like bracing throughout a problem and then being able to relax again once the problem has passed. And that's a good thing too, and I think having resilience is really important, but sometimes actually with particular problems or challenges that I'm facing where I really have to problem solve, I actually try to kind of like lean into that a little bit more and be vulnerable to the stressful situation and feeling it properly and visualizing how it's going to make me stronger and more efficient for the future and better equipped to deal with the more problems that I'm going to inevitably face in the future. I try to think of it as though, less like I'm bracing for a problem, but more like if I was going to the gym or something and trying to like work out a muscle, which like puts a little bit of stress on the muscle, but ultimately makes me better equipped to be able to handle like more weight in the future. I also try to reflect on the past problems I've had and see how I'm so much better equipped now and I'm a better person, I'm smarter because I had to go through those situations. If I hadn't had to go through those situations, I wouldn't be as equipped as I am right now. Because the problems are going to come, it's sort of just like a wave. And there'll be periods where you feel like you're like really, in it and it's stressful, but that time will pass. It always does. So you kind of just have to like embrace this period while you're in it, be like, okay, this is where we are right now, and know that it's not going to last forever. And then I think the last thing that I try to do, which is quite helpful, is I remember that like no one's dying, I'm blessed to be in a job, in a life where I'm not dealing with life or death situations. It's not that serious. You're still very young. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to figure it out. Everybody is, and no one's gonna die. So, guys, that's kind of a little bit of a breakdown on how I've been able to change my mindset from thinking about problems as like these awful things that I need to avoid at all costs to kind of just being in a mindset where it's like, okay, this is unavoidable. How am I going to embrace it and learn from it and be a better, stronger person for having gone through it? And that it's your choice. Your problems are your choice. If you don't like them, change your circumstances. Guys, that's it for this week's episode of Rookie CEO. I would love to hear how you've been able to think about problems or the way that you think about challenges and how you've maybe been able to shift your way of thinking into more of a growth mindset. Until next week, that's all. I'll see you guys. Bye.